Here we go. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So,
This week we saw a really great interview with Ed Sheeran on
Hey House.
Hey House, a platform called Hey House, which was, I think, established around Louise Hay.
Right.
What is she? I don't know.
Is she a writer, isn't she, I think?
Writer, sort of spiritual leaning
Yeah.
guide, but very cool chick. And
They're a publishing house, aren't they?
they're a publishing house now, yeah. Anyway, Ed Sheeran did this really candid, open little interview with these guys. It was great, wasn't it?
It's really good.
He was great, and he came up with this idea. He likes to look at the world that there are radiators and there are drains. So basically, he goes through life going, is that goodness? When something comes into his life, is that do I perceive goodness, and is that good for me?
Is that a radiating experience?
Is it radiating goodness, or is it a drain? And if it's a drain, he says, cut it out. No messing.
Yeah. So if the experience is gonna drain you, don't do it.
Yeah. Or if you feel that draining feeling,
Yeah.
cut it out. Don't
Yeah.
do it. And we were rather like that. It was sort of to define. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation where, you're thinking, that's really odd. I don't feel 100% about what just happened or the way that person's treating me. And perhaps rather than sort of go more into it, seeking some sort of solution, it might just be better to go, actually, you know what? I feel quite drained. I'm off.
So I think it's entirely healthy to think like that, isn't it? To really consider what you're doing with your time and energy, or who you're giving your time and energy to, and thinking about, am I getting a radiating warm feeling from that person, that experience, or is that a draining?
And we can do things out of obligation, can't we? We feel obliged
That's true.
to behave in a certain way with certain people, that perhaps family members or people that we've been, we've known a long time, since our childhood and stuff, and you feel some sort of, I don't know, unwritten obligation that you should continue to have that relationship, even though perhaps it's not fluid anymore. It's not loving anymore. There's not a shared commonality.
Which is quite a heartbreaking thing to realise, and it's quite a evolved thing to think about, making different choices which are more loving, so you don't have to go through the kind of draining experience. It's a brave thing to do, I think.
Yeah, it's a brave thing to do, but okay, I think it's an okay thing to do. I think it's a strong and courageous,
It's brave
way of moving forward, and just the awakening of realizing, oh, this isn't it, and then being able to walk away.
I mean, one of the things, if you're an artist, or if you've got a dream, whatever it is, if you're planning to go ahead and do that, as we know, it's quite a mission, and you've got your own belief in it, and if you're fortunate enough to have a partner or members of a group who you work with that believe in that, that's a great thing. But sometimes the people that you think might have your back or support you actually don't, and it's quite heartbreaking, actually, that the sort of support that you give freely, or you would imagine would be there, isn't there. It's quite a thing to go through.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, I mean, Jesus, the amount of support we've got from fans and people that have, it's just incredible, isn't it? It's like we're so blessed and so supported, and just strangers who've become friends, and whether it be financially through helping with the album, or just daily little messages or support, you have no idea how much that means and how much good that does. And so that's, if you're watching this and you know who you are, that you are incredible, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
But as an artist, you're better off thinking about, rather than thinking why are the people that maybe should be supporting and loving me, why are they not? it's a kind of it's quite heartbreaking to realise.
It's very
that.
time consuming.
Very
We're trying to work
time-consuming.
out why they don't love you. But actually, we found that when we sort of started working together when we first met and said, right, we're going to move forward and pursue a career in the music business. It was met generally far and wide by family and friends as if we'd announced that we were going to go into the porn industry. I mean, but they may have even been a bit more happy about that because at least it's an earner. And obviously, as artists, it's a bit dicey. It can be dicey. You don't know how successful you're going to be or whether you're going to be able to make a living at it and stuff. But I suppose as artists, it's what we do. It's all we can do. So we have no choice, really. We have to express ourselves in that way. And that was quite difficult, not having the emotional support back in the day when we were just starting out. Now we because of our fans and because of people that we really admire and respect, have given us their respect and acclaim. That makes a huge amount of difference. We can feel like, oh, okay, it was worthwhile, but there was a moment there where it was just a real struggle.
There's a thing called effective presence, which I found out about last night, where say if you're giving someone love or support, they can go through their lives and say they're on their own. Your effective presence of your love and support helps them to kind of handle life and helps them to kind of get through it. So your effective presence is kind of having an impact. And by the same token, if it's not there, if the support or love isn't there, there's an effective presence of a lack of love or support which you have to deal with, which is quite can make you feel quite alone. So
it's like a vacuum of silence. It creates this sort of where the love you hope the love would be. There's like this sort of void of retraction of it feels like disappointment. It feels like disapproval. And we struggled with that. Luckily, we had each other, but I think a lot of artists do struggle with that, where they don't feel they're being seen.
Well, you read it a lot. I mean, I read a lot of biographies, and you read it in a lot of artists and musicians' lives that they've had to sort of go through that, which I guess is why a lot of them have some sort of crazy, naive, maybe why we have a crazy, naive, utopian idea that we can all make it work, make it happen.
Yeah, but perhaps we're like that because we didn't get approval as children. And that led to us sort of pursuing it. Maybe even it's affected how our choice to pursue this path in some sort of way that we want to be seen more than most people do. We kind of there's something missing that we need to be acknowledged and we need to be seen. So we find ourselves in this career, and perhaps other people don't have that same need, so they don't give.
Maybe
in the way that we do.
I was speaking to someone the other day who said they were content, and I was like, "Wow, crikey, that's what's that like? That must be quite." I mean, I am content, but it's like there's a level of contentness they were quite fine with, and it was like, wow, that must be quite something. And I coming back to the Radiator and Drain thing, I think it's okay to decide that you're going to try and live a life with people that are radiators and just radiate yourself, and and it's okay to not be around people that drain, and even if it is nearest and dearest, and you have to make it with love and with love and best wishes, sometimes you just have to kind of find a different sort of avenue, really, and that's just the way of the world. And it's quite nice to kind of grow up a bit and actually sort of get to a point where you go, I sort of don't need that, and I'm not going to choose to care about that anymore. Not care about the person, but not care about the perceived lack or amount of support. It's no longer kind of matters. And all I would say to anyone who's got a dream is like, it's a big waste of time to sort of beg for or wonder why you're not getting support from certain places. Like you're better off concentrating on all the amazing people like we have who actually support, and it's that is actually like they're all brothers and sisters in an actual kind of different kind of way. It's sort of.
We just want to say thank you to you.
Thank you very much. You have no idea.
You have no idea.
With love, the Radiator.
Yeah, got to go. I can just hear my dog.
She's having a right go.
She's having a right go in the house. She's must be really annoying for the neighbours. So we better go and sort it out.
Love.
Love.